What if the cover of your favorite book was actually a door? A portal to another world, another time, another life. In this episode, we're not just talking about reading, we're talking about entering. We'll explore what literary worlds we'd visit, the characters we'd befriend or maybe avoid, and the trouble we'd inevitably cause. Would you warn a tragic hero, join a quest, or just find a quiet corner in a magical cafe? This is a journey into the heart of why we love stories and an invitation to unleash our own imagination to transform the world around you. Get ready to turn the page on reality. I'm Danny, and this is a new episode from Thinking Out Loud. Have you ever closed a book, the scent of old paper and ink still clinging to the air, and felt a pang of loss? A longing to stay just a little longer in that world we've come to love. What if you could? What if, with a single deliberate step, you could cross the threshold from your world into the world of your favorite book? This isn't just a daydream for authors or artists. It's a portal we all have access to. A way to sprinkle a little of impossible magic onto the very real, very solid ground of our daily lives. Now think about it for a moment. Not just as a fun idea, but as a real, tangible choice. Which book would it be? The answer, I suspect, says more about you than 1,000 personality tests. The book you choose is a map to your own heart, a blueprint of your deepest longings. Are you stepping onto the damp, moss-covered ground of the Shire? The smell of pipe weed and baking bread in the air, a gentle hum of contentment settling over you? Perhaps you crave peace, simplicity, and the comfort of good company. Or maybe you're drawn to the electric, rain-slicked streets of a futuristic city, the air buzzing with flying vehicles and neon advertisements, a thrill of danger and discovery coursing through your veins. You might be seeking adventure, a challenge to test your mettle. Now close your eyes. Seriously, do it. Picture that book on your shelf. See the cover. Feel its weight in your hands. Now imagine it swinging open like a door. What's the first thing you hear? Is it the clash of swords? The murmur of a Victorian ballroom? The quiet scratching of a quill pen? Or the rustle of leaves in an enchanted forest? This isn't just about escaping reality. It's about choosing a different reality. One that nourishes a part of our soul that the everyday world sometimes forgets to feed. All right, so you've chosen your destination. Now for the fun part. What do you pack? And I don't just mean socks and a toothbrush. Your packing list is your statement of intent. If you're headed to Hogwarts, you're obviously packing your sense of wonder. And maybe some contraband from Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. For a jaunt through Jane Austen's England, you'll need your sharpest wit, a mastery of the subtle side-eye, and perhaps a pair of comfortable dancing shoes. Thinking of visiting Arrakis from Dune? You'll need a still suit, a healthy dose of courage, and the ability to walk without rhythm so you don't attract the worms. Well, good luck with that on your first try. Choosing your world is an act of self-revelation. Do you opt for the cozy chaos of the Burrow with the Weasley family, where love and loyalty are the main currencies? Or do you take your chances on the mean streets of Gotham, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Caped Crusader? The choice reveals what you feel is missing from your own life, or what you value most within it. Are you running from something or running to something? Are you seeking comfort? Or are you secretly hoping to get into a little bit of trouble? And now for the big existential can of worms. Once you're there, what's your role? Are you just a spectator? A ghost at the feast, watching the story unfold exactly as the author intended? There's a certain safety in that, isn't there? To see it all play out, knowing the ending, feeling the emotions without bearing the consequences. But what if you can't help yourself? What if you're standing in the Capulet tomb, and you see Juliet begin to stir just as Romeo raises the poison to his lips? Do you scream? Do you tackle him? Do you ruin one of the greatest tragedies ever written for the sake of two fictional teenagers? Your heart says yes, of course, save them. But your literary soul cries out in protest. You'll create a temporal paradox in the canon. The temptation to meddle would be overwhelming. Imagine finding Jay Gatsby staring at that green light across the water. Wouldn't you want to put an arm around him and say, "Hey man, she's just not that into you"? Also, maybe diversify your portfolio beyond, Could you stand by and watch Frodo struggle up Mount Doom without offering to carry the ring for just a little while? Even knowing what it does to people? To offer help would be human. To refuse for the sake of the story would be an act of profound, almost painful respect for the narrative. Your presence changes things. The moment you step into that world, you are no longer a reader. You are a character, a rogue element. And with that comes a dizzying sense of power and a terrifying weight of responsibility. Do you preserve the art, or do you save the people within it? Now let's be honest, a big part of this fantasy is the people. The characters who have lived in our minds for so long, they feel more real than some of our actual relatives. Who would you want to talk to? I'd give anything for a cup of tea and a long chat with Samwise Gamgee. Not Frodo, not Aragorn, Sam. The guy who understood that true courage isn't about having no fear, but about remembering the taste of strawberries and the beauty of a simple garden even when the world is ending. I'd want to ask him how he held on to that hope. Or maybe you'd want to sit down for a game of Savas with Tyrion Lannister, pre-crazy era preferably, just to be verbally eviscerated by his wit. Or to seek out Atticus Finch and just listen. To be in the presence of his quiet, unshakable integrity. What would you ask these figures? Would you seek advice? Offer them comfort? Or would you just want to thank them? There's an emotional truth here. These characters often represent ideals or flaws we see in ourselves and the world around us. A conversation with them is a conversation with a part of our own psyche. They are the mentors, friends, and cautionary tales we've carried with us since we first turned their pages. They taught us about love, loss, betrayal, and the messy, beautiful, complicated business of being alive. Meeting them would feel like a homecoming. It might even feel like finally meeting a piece of yourself you never knew how to talk to. Okay, let's pull back from the portal for a second and plant our feet firmly back in reality. As much as we'd love to, we can't physically walk into Narnia through a wardrobe. But here's the secret, the real magic of this whole thought experiment. In a way, we do it every single time we read. Your imagination is the most powerful transporter ever invented. It doesn't just show you pictures. It builds worlds. It conjures smells, sounds, and emotions out of thin air and black squiggles on a page. Reading is not a passive act of consumption. It is an active, vibrant, co-creative process. You are building those castles brick by brick in your mind. You are casting those spells. You are feeling that heartbreak right alongside the characters. This superpower isn't meant to be locked away, used only when you have a book in your hands. Why not let it loose on your own life? That's the real challenge. That's the souvenir you bring back from your fictional travels. When you're facing a tough decision at work, you can ask yourself, what would Captain Picard do? When you're feeling small and insignificant, you can remember the courage of a small hobbit facing down a dragon. When you see an act of kindness on the subway, you can see it as a small moment of light in the fight against the darkness, just as potent as the lighting of the beacons of Gondor. This is how we let our inner child out to play without being childish. It's about taking the grand themes, courage, love, justice, hope, from the stories we love and recognizing their echoes in our own everyday reality. It's about looking at a sunset and not just seeing pretty colors, but seeing the same sky that a lonely prince on a tiny asteroid once looked at. It infuses the mundane with a touch of the mythic. So the portal is open. The invitation is there, waiting on your nightstand, on your e-reader, in your memory. It's your turn to step through. But I have to ask, what book would you choose? Where would you go? And once you were there, standing face to face with your favorite characters in the world that shaped you, would you be a quiet observer, or would you dare to change the story? What wisdom would you seek, and what would you leave behind? Let me know in the comments below. Let's build a library of worlds together. Because the stories we cherish are more than just stories. They're the keys to the magic we all carry inside. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Danny, and that was another episode from Thinking Out Loud. I'll see you again next time.